Hey guys, welcome to Workshop Addict, where we're normally looking at a lot of new power tools. My addiction to flashlights has kind of come into this channel as I am pretty much obsessed. I have two Nitecore 1800 lumen flashlights here. I'm trying to expand into other brands and just see what's out there. These are both 1800 lumen, and these two lights are totally different from each other. Let's take a look at this new flashlight and one of their older ones that they have out and see how they compare to each other. Stay tuned. All right, check this out. This is the Nitecore MH10S. This thing is just amazing for a very small flashlight. Very easy to use, easy to handle. There's no tail switch, just a forward switch on this guy. 5 different modes. If you double click, it'll go into strobe mode. And then we can push and hold. Of course, show you the different modes there. Pretty amazing. Then I have the Nitecore P20i. This is 1800 lumens. Again, very amazing. Super easy to use, no forward switch, just a tail switch on this guy. And you can switch through your modes. It kind of is a dual tail switch. Very cool. If you turn it off, just hit the mode switch. You have a turbo, or a strobe, excuse me. And it's pretty intense. This is a very tactical flashlight. Both of these are very impressive for their size. Very impressive for their size. All right, I quickly want to go through what I'm trying to show you with the modes. Here's the MH10S. No tail switch. It does do a tail stand, very small, light Usbc charging under that rubber, but the forward switch, basically push to turn on, push and hold, and it'll go through its modes. It's got 5 modes there, and then if you double tap, it'll go into different strobe modes, and if you hold, it'll go through different special strobe modes that it has. And then it has a memory as to where you've turned it off. You can turn it back on in that same place. Only a forward switch, but it works great. And this is a 294 meter throw. Lots and lots of light, 21700 battery in here. But I'm comparing it to the Nitecore P20i. Little more of a tactical light. You have your glass breaks on the end of this bezel here. Lot more to grab onto. This is a tail switch only, and it's a dual tail switch model. So when you push the tail switch, the large button on, it comes on whatever mode you left it in, and then there's this little switch behind that allows you to just push and change modes. Easy to find at night. You have one high switch, one low switch, and because it's a more tactical light, if you want to just push the small switch, that comes on and flashes with your strobe. Very intense strobe in both of these. So when we're going through the modes and talk about how different they are, I mean, one's a forward switch, one's a tail switch. The MH10S has a ton of different modes, a lot going on, not as tactical. The P20i is definitely more tactical. Let's just walk around with these a little bit and show you a little bit more of the differences, although this camera doesn't pick the light up as well. Always interests me quite a bit when I get out these lights, and I have 2 different 1800 lumen lights, and they have quite a bit of different range. This is the P20i, and it's really tough with this camera. I can turn around on the shop and you can get a great idea of it, but when we start going out looking around, it's really tough, and I know you don't see it. There's a deer right there. Oh, you can see his body and everything. This camera won't pick it up that far away. But if I hold this light and switch over, this is the MH10S. And again, 1800 lumens. Not as far of a throw, but again, I can come back on the bar. And I think the other camera picks this up a lot better, especially when we're walking without leaves and trying to show what's around. Both very nice lights. It's just a matter of what you're looking to do with each light. While these two lights are going to have their differences in use, with the MH10S having a much more everyday carry style system to it. It even shows that when you put it in its carry case or its holster. This is going to have you pulling it straight out, and this is a new holster, so it's fairly tight. More of an EDC style, where the P20i is just a clip-in, where it's going to be a quick release, easy to get out. They both use 2100 or 21700 batteries, so they're both the same size. This battery is definitely not proprietary, while the battery in the P20i looks like it is a proprietary battery. When I put this one back in after I show it to you, I want to show the battery voltage indicator on this. There's a little bit of different stuff going on here, although it may not need it. I think that's part of the tail switch function, and you see it. See this flashing? It flashed 4 times. Let me see if I can get you to do it again. This is a voltage indicator. And it's usually very easy to do, very accurate. When you pull the battery out and put it back in, it will flash 2, 3, 4, and then it'll wait 1.5 seconds. And then if you have any, it'll give you the second number. So it'll flash the second number. So we're 4.0 volts, and that's at plus or minus 0.1 volts. So we're somewhere between 3.9 and 4.1 volts in here. Does it matter with this 2100 or 21700 battery? No, most likely not, because when you have the light on, you also have this battery indicator that's going to tell you if it's solid, it's above 50%. If it's slowly blinking, it's between 10 and 50%. If it's blinking fast, it's below 10. But if you are going to use this with different batteries, which this guy will take an 18650 or 2 CR123s, you would simply put your CR123s in here, slide that in, put your tail kit back on, and then since those are not rechargeable, it would give you the voltage and you could tell when you need to carry or put in new batteries. Nice system. This light has the same light right in the middle of that switch. The USB-C charging is easy to get at on both of them, and they charge quickly. Beyond that, in each of the kits you get a more simple clip-on style belt clip, you get a tether and an extra O-ring for a wear item if you're taking the batteries out quite often. In this, I like to just run this 21700 battery, plug them in, charge. I don't have to open and close. It's nice that it's a USB-C. I have a lot of them right now, so it works for the technology of this era. This little MH10S is a really nice light to have around, and it's just a great everyday carry. Tons of modes, and that's really cool. But when I'm walking at night in the wintertime, I find myself wanting to put the P20i in my pocket, and I can walk around with this guy in my pocket, and if I needed to pull something out, I know exactly where that tail switch is. And if I don't want to push the tail switch, it's easy for me to come over to the strobe mode, and I have a strike bezel on the end that is a lot more intense. This is of course a tactical flashlight, and that's the use that I'm pulling it out in, where while this light would fit and work, it doesn't have a real strike bezel on the front. And it's just more of a small, more of an everyday carry. There's no tail switch, nothing to turn on. You'd have to pull it out and find your switch in the front. And then while it still would be fairly easy, it's not quite as tactical. Again, different uses, different parts, different pieces. This would be a great one just to leave in the truck, you know, and if anything ever happened, you always have a glass break on the end. Lots of cool things there. That's the problem with flashlights, is you can go from mild to wild and get into just about anything that you want, and even beyond that. And that's kind of crazy to me. I still have my favorites, but I really enjoy looking at the different brands and what's out there. And I'll tell you, for my first 2 Nitecore flashlights, these perform very well, and it's easy to see while you're outside and I'm trying to flash different areas on the barn, and you can really see well beyond that, and the throw on these is both amazing. My cameras are not picking this up. I mean, there's deer out here I could show you and all kinds of great stuff, but the camera doesn't show the throw as well as I'd like. And I'm still working on that, but trying to get out to a 300-meter throw with the camera, it just seems to not want to pick something up when I get that far out. Either way, if you're looking at either one of these flashlights, they're cool. I will put some more information down in the bottom. And of course, I'll have some more flashlight stuff out because the Black Friday sales were great. And I'm just gonna kind of go through what I was able to pick up and what's coming up for sale as we get closer to Christmas. So if you haven't, give us a like on this video, subscribe to the channel. We always appreciate that. As always, thanks for your time. Have a great day.